Good morning and welcome to Life University's Life Church. This is your life host, Reverend Dr. Donicia Palm. I am so happy this morning that you could join me for another exciting segment here on Life University's Life Church. It is Fresh Thought LifeWords. So, what sort of week have you had? And how are you today? It really matters as you're about to start a new week to sort of add up where you are in your life and where you would like to be. It's very important. Before we move on to our wonderful topic today, a millionaire's challenge. It's a wonderful topic. I have some fresh thought life words for you. We're going to take a grateful moment in this day now. I'm inviting you to join me to forget everything. That's right. And just to focus. Focus on the life that you are right now. And in that life, all things are possible. In this life, all things are available. In this life, all things are accessible. In this life, there is pure and absolute love. Therefore, we just take this grateful breath together and another. How grateful we are. I pray on your behalf today to give thanks to life for all that has been and all that is today. In this one thing we are certain of this moment. If you can hear my voice, then you are absolutely alive and certain that life lives you. And the life that lives you is the life I described when we first started. Accessible, available, amazing, wonderful, full of potential and possibility. And so, in the space of wellness, I give thanks. Give thanks for you, give thanks for your family, give thanks for all things that have bothered you this week and concerns you even now. And in this moment, I give thanks to the great I am, the great life for you, and on behalf of us all. For this week, I give thanks in advance. I let it be, and so it is. Amen. Well, isn't it wonderful to live in a worry-free zone with a worry-free mentality? Then, therefore, we would always be grateful. We would always be joyful. We would always be well, because these are the very medicine that heals us, that saves us, that rescues us sometimes from our wandering minds, from our foolish mistakes, and from other people's toxic behavior, because it centers us in this gratitude and awareness of life. It centers us on all that is good and pleasant. Okay, so I'm taking a break from the theme that we have been following, whatever, the whatevers of God, not taking a break from God or from the whatever, but the whatever today is basically a millionaire's challenge. Yes, and that goes to you. You said, well, I'm a pauper. No, no, no. I'm going to set this challenge for this week. The challenge is to think a million thoughts of what you desire. That is what I heard life say to you. Okay, before we start, I ask you this question, and it's a life question, okay? It's a very, very important question. What do you think about most during your day? Yes? Can you write that down? Or if you haven't got a pen, just think about that, okay? What is it that you think about most? So the challenge this week is along that line. Think a million thoughts of what you desire. That's your challenge. Within this week, to think a million thoughts of what you desire. So, desire. Now, in some for some people, the word desire throw up a lot of shady things. But for our things this week, for our segment, desire. A desire is a strong feeling of wanting to have something or wishing for something to happen. Can you hear that? So, a strong feeling of wanting to have something. Have you ever had a strong feeling to have something? Or have you ever wished for something to happen? How often during a day and a week are you wishing for something to happen? Something that isn't happening at that time. And you're desiring, you're wishing for that thing to happen. How often during a day do you have a strong feeling of wanting to have something? Maybe you're hungry. Maybe you're thirsty. That is the desire. And so when we hear this word, first, sometimes when we see the word desire, the first thing that pops up is something sexual, something, a big thing of ice cream, too much for you. So the word desire has been thrown about, especially in the more religious world, as something that, you sort of you can't tame it. It's there and it's dangerous. But no, today I'm inviting you to use the God-given desire that you were given to do something wonderful this week. Okay. So, a strong feeling of wanting to have something, a million thoughts of what you desire. So, a million thoughts of with strong feelings of what you want to have. Okay, what you desire. And notice the word strong. So only you, only you can decide the strength of that desire. Okay, only you can decide the strength of the feeling. But most of the time, what people have done, they're look at it. What you think about during the day mainly is what you don't want to have. Can you see the reverse of that? So most people are having a strong feeling of what they do not want to have or what they are wishing would not happen. So they're foreseeing in their future, they're putting something they don't want to happen and they're putting feelings of something they don't want to something they cannot have or that might be impossible or that might go, you know, oh, is he going to go? Is she going to go and do such and such? Or is my, you know, is my neighbor going to do this? Or, am I going to be able to stop this? Or am I going to be able to do this? Or what if it rains? What if it's snow? Well, what if I get the virus? What if she gets the virus? What's going to, and it's this continual back and forth of what we do not want to have or what we do not want to happen. So remember, the desire means a strong feeling, and that strength only you can decide. And how do we do that? We we tend to be creatures of how. Okay, it is through the amount of your awareness of the thing you wish for. I'm giving you secrets here. It's through the amount of your awareness of the thing you wish for or want that brings you success, that brings you peace, that brings you health, that brings you, listen, all the financial blessing that you desire is in your control. How? By the strength of your feelings, of the things that you would like to happen. Okay, now I said a strong feeling of what you want to have. That word have with desire means you want to possess it, you want to own it, you want to hold it. But only you can decide the thought that you want to hold and to multiply that a million times during this week. How? Just catch yourself. Okay, let me tell you how. I jump straight to it. We are given a normal, we say normal, okay? I don't know what normal is, but a normal type of breathing for somebody who is, not too fit, or just it's just normal for adults, is about 20,000 breaths. I normally teach that we have 23,040 breaths a day, and that's good, okay? So there is 23,040 breaths a day, it's good. But normal, things are not going as, and yeah, okay, we won't go into that because it's Fresh Thought Life Words, and I want to speak words of life. So normal then is 20,000 breaths. So we'll say you have 20,000 breaths a day. But for those of us who want to go into whatever is excellent, good, and pure, we'll know that we have 23,040 breaths a day. Now, why is that important when we are talking about a millionaire's challenge? Because you see, this is amazing, amazing that we are given this amount of breaths per day. If you times that by how old you are, how many minutes you have been given per day, how many days you have been alive, you know then that you are more than a billionaire. If you are, say, about 80 years old, you have been a millionaire times and millions of times over. In fact, you would be a trillionaire. I remember when my mother was 80 and we worked that out, and I couldn't believe it, she was 760 billion. It was off the chain. So breath is important because you see, your breathing affects all parts of your body. Have you been achy? Are you worried about what's going to happen to your body? Everybody is getting a vaccination to try to keep the body. But what about your mind? What about the state of your mind? And never mind your mind. What about your soul? You see that we really, human beings, were created or to evolve, or whatever way you want to look at it. We came here with a purpose to be living souls, living souls. And we keep ourselves alive by being in our consciousness of the life that lives us. If you have breathed for 5 minutes and you haven't thought about your breath within that 5 minutes, then basically, your breath is going, but you have not been alive. You know that feeling of aliveness? Is your awareness of the breath that breathes you, of the life that lives you. And then if in that moment you can catch yourself being grateful, man, you are some amazing, happy, joyful person to be around. Otherwise, you're just toxic and boring and so on. Okay? But that's none of you. Okay? That's not you, not now, not ever. So your breath affects all parts of your body because you use the breathing, your breath use the respiratory system. Okay? It uses all your lungs and so on. And then your cells, which is in your body, also uses the oxygen. So through the breath that comes through the respiratory system, breathing in, your cells then gets that energy, okay, fuel, as it were, energy, and uses that so that you can move, so that you can breathe even more, and so that you can be alive. And in return, it creates waste in the form of carbon dioxide. And that is happening 23,040 times a day in that breathing. This is what's happening. It's affecting your respiratory system and your cells. So if you have a problem breathing, it's perhaps because you're not being aware. And in that awareness, you're not being grateful. But when you are aware of life, you have to be grateful. In 2013, I had a name change. I had a wake-up call. Oh, yes, when they turned that machine off and said that was it for me, and I was given life again, that was a wake-up call for me. Because at one time I was without breath. Okay? I was without breath. And then when breath came back in my body, my cells were so grateful. And over the next 9 months, as I sat, or lie down, and thought about my breath, I became aware of my breath. And in that moment, life said to me, your name is no longer so and so. You are grateful. Not just because you're grateful for breath, you have become grateful. So you can start calling me grateful. Okay? And a lot of people do. They call me Apostle Grateful. Let's get back to the program. You see, you, by your awareness, create the strength of what you want to feel, what you want to happen. You can decide that. And could you imagine thinking about that? Being aware of that, being aware of what you want in a week. That's your millionaire's challenge. You want to turn this video off? No, no, no. Get to the bottom of it. You see, a strong feeling of what you want. Let's break down this word want. That word want is a desire to what? To possess, to belong. A lot of people, by what they say, by what they do, they do not feel they belong. They're just floating about in life. Most people, who are you belonging to? Who, what do you own? Do you own your own thoughts? Do you own yourself? And that is the thing. There's a scripture that actually says, you know, in all you're getting, own yourself, possess your thoughts. Own your thoughts, because if you do not own your thoughts, somebody else will. And I guarantee most people are living on somebody else's thoughts. How? You continually speak about what other people are doing. You're watching their thoughts or their thoughtlessness. You say that person is so thoughtless. Look what they did. They're so thoughtless. They're not thinking about themselves. They're not thinking about their spouse. They're just going along and doing anything. And that affects us, doesn't it? Right. So you have to be conscious of what you want, what you desire to belong to you, how you desire. And the best thing that you can belong to is to your own life. But you cannot belong to your own life if you're not even aware of it. And you're given 20, how much? 20,000 and 40, or just 20,000 if you feel you're not well and not breathing well. You're given that amount of opportunities as breath each day. Isn't that amazing? This is a wonderful segment. This is education. You're learning something here. Okay, so it's a strong feeling of wanting to have something or wishing, a strong wish for something to happen. What is a wish? A wish is a desire. That's right. It's a desire or a hope for something to happen. You know another word for this thing that we're talking about, the feeling of wanting? There was a prophet. There was the Christ. There was Jesus. And he said, do you know what he said? He says, if you're hungering and if you're thirsting after righteousness, right? What is righteousness? The thing that is right, the thing that is good. Remember last week we talked about that? The secret in whatsoever is good, whatsoever is right, whatsoever is pleasant. Oh, those things have a good report. Then the scripture says, the ancient text says, hunger and thirst after those things. Then what will happen? What is the promise? You shall be filled. Say that with me. I shall be filled. Say it with me. I shall be filled. And when you begin to think of that, begin to hunger, which is desire, begin to thirst after those things that are good, those things that are right, those things that are pleasant, a million times, a million thoughts per day, well, throughout the week. Amazing. Let me tell you what can happen. You think, well, how am I going to know that? Oh my goodness, how can I do this? You take the number 1,000 and just take the number 1,000. You think, sorry, a million. Sorry, just take the words, the letters, the figures. A million. That's wow. Everybody's wanting to be a millionaire. But you're already a millionaire in your breath. It's just because you haven't been conscious or aware of it. If you become conscious of the thoughts that you think about and what you think about that you desire, oh man, and if it is to be grateful for life, Life will bring you in the matter-based things, the things that perish. Okay? It will bring you that if you just think about those things, you're always reaching for it, so you never really have it. But when you're conscious of the life that lives you, and knowing that I've been given 23,040 breaths today. Listen, you think you get that word a million? Let me tell you what you have to do. Just 427 times per day. What is that? That's just breaking it down, just basically 53 times in a day. You get 60 seconds in a minute. So isn't that even less than a minute? Can you try to do that just in one day? And remember, for the whole week you're given, if you're one that is, I call good breathing, 23,040, for the whole week you would be getting 161,280 breaths, and you can use that to get that wonderful sense of well-being, of happiness, of joy. Oh, you want to feel good? It's all about feelings. It is all about feelings. Let me tell you, the man or woman who have a billion and is lying in the hospital bed is not feeling good. Okay? Is not feeling good. The person with $1 million that has no one that really loves, I'm talking about being loved and faithful and just adore them, not feeling good. Okay, they can go out and they can buy the amount of, take people out to dinner, buy them the best dinner, have the best sex, go to the best, wherever they go, travel in the best ship. If they do not have a person that adores them, that loves them, that cares for them, they're not feeling good. Do you understand what I'm trying to say? That it's a lot about feelings. And feelings, why I'm harping on about feelings are created through your thoughts. So this week, Millionaire's Challenge is to think a million thoughts about the things that you desire. So what is it that you want £1,000,000? Put that million down. You're going to think about that £1,000,000. How many times? Yes, a million times throughout this week by being conscious at least 427 times per day. That's not much, is it? Yes. And if you could break it down, you can program. You see, remember I said about the strength. You can actually program your cells through your thoughts. And your cells, remember, your cells is using oxygen. So your cells is using oxygen. Where does oxygen come from? Through the breath. You're breathing in oxygen. Okay? And then you're breathing out carbon dioxide. But all of that waste would stay inside. And a lot of the time we have toxic situation, toxic feeling, because when the breath is coming in, we are not programming it. It's not strong enough. And the strong enough comes through your awareness. And when your awareness is based on gratitude and appreciation, you cannot be grateful and appreciative when you are worried. It doesn't make sense. The two doesn't go together. And when you're trying to do the two together, it get confused. And then you feel like you're going to blow up. And that's basically a lot of people's life, isn't it? So that strong feeling, that strong wish of wanting to possess or own or hold something. Yeah, a strong wish for something to happen, to belong, to own, And remember, if you hunger, it's that same want or that same desire or that same thing to possess, to wish for. Other words that we use during the day and we're just doing it willy-nilly. We're not aware of it. Think about this word. What comes to your mind when you hear the word lust? Oh, yes, straight away. You think of something flirtatious. You think about something that's diabolical. But what about if we challenge our what we call lust, which is the same thing as desire, that is the same thing as want, and that's the same thing as wish, for something that is wonderful. Like being aware and grateful for the life that lives you, that life that is God, that life. No wonder Jesus the Christ said, I am the way, the truth, and the life. That's why these days I just talk about life. You think about the drive. What drives you? What is it you want? You have a strong feeling, not for what you don't want, but for what you do want. Do you want that £1,000,000? Do you want, you see, we just think about £1,000,000. As soon as we hear the word million, we think about cash. Isn't that amazing? Why wouldn't you have 1,000,000 love? If you think about having 1,000,000 love, I mean, I'm not talking about, just the flirtatious love or whatever they call it. That's not really love. I'm talking about the agape type of love that sweetens your blood, that sets your heart on fire, that causes you to work and that causes you to do. I mean, it just brings words that you've never even heard to your mind. To your mind, you feel good all day. You lie down. Your rest is sweet. The words that comes out of your mouth is so positive. They encourage people. Man, you are a walking heaven. What is that? Because you have a strong feeling of wanting love 1,000,000 times a day. Do you want love? Do you want £1,000,000? Want love, the same amount of feeling and passion that you desire. That this word desire is passion too. Because these are things we forsake, and we hide them in another little box as is something that is dirty. Hankering. What is it that you are hankering for? Well, think 1,000,000 thoughts of what you're hankering for. That is good, that is right, that is pleasant. And that is what you will have, because you are always having what you have thought about. You said, well, I've never thought about, haven't you? You've thought about it. You said, yeah, I thought about it in a way that I didn't want it. And that's exactly what your mind, that's exactly that the space around you believes is what you want, and that is what you're getting. You will always get what you are thinking about. You will get what you're thinking about. You will get what you're thinking about. Say that with me. I get what I'm thinking about. You don't want to say it, do you? Because you don't believe it. But even in saying, well, I don't think so, it's another way of what you're thinking. If you're thinking, well, I can think whatever I want and, and just do what I do it without thinking, well, that's what you're going to get. You're just going to get things showing up, hit and miss. But if you see, another word for want and desire really is love. So desire 1,000,000 thoughts about love. Have a zeal, have a hope. You say, I'm keen. What is it that you're keen on? Think about what are you keen? Okay, 1,000,000 thoughts about what you're keen on. I'm helping you this week to achieve your goal. This week, you will have 161,280 breaths, or if you're not so well, you will have at least 20,000, which is 140 breaths this week. Write that down or revisit this video to get these figures, and keep that on your fridge. Keep it in your toilet. Take it to work. Take it when you're cooking. Take it when you're eating. Write it on the back of your hand. Wow, I've been given 23,040 breaths. How many times during that day? You see, 420 times per day, it's not really much, is it? If you break that down to say just within the day, okay, just within the day, just break it down, even to the 1%. Okay, that's 46 times. I mean, remember, you're given 23,040, and we're thinking about 1,000,000. And if you focus on having 1,000,000 love, then could you imagine every time you think about that million, 427 times, that's nothing. When you work it out, it's what, about less than a minute worth of breath to think about something 1,000,000 times that you want. You think about that word 1,000,000. of that thing that you're thinking about, a million of that thing that you're dreaming about, a million of that thing that you need, a million of that thing that you're devoted. That is what you call devotion, what you're devoted to. What are you desiring? Is it something true and pure and good? Then that deserves your devotion. A million thoughts of what you desire. It's up to you. It's up to you. A strong feeling of wanting to have something, a strong wish for something to happen, a eagerness, a pining. Have you ever pined for something? A million times of that thing that you're pining. Begin to pine over it. Oh, is it peace that you want? Then that's your challenge this week, to pine. Look, a million times pine. That's pining, A ache, love, a wish, and your ambition with fervor. Do you ever hear of the word a soft spot? You see, the opposite of all this is dislike. And I'm telling you, that comes up, pops up. Oop, I dislike that. Oops, I dislike that. Oops. Or, listen to this, very sad. I mean, it's Fresh Thought LifeWords, but I'm encouraging you, apathy. Some people just have apathy. Oh, same old, same old. Whatever will be, will be. Not the whatevers of God, because the whatevers of God are deliberate. They're intentional. Intentional thoughts. Listen. You want to move on to a billionaire? I'm on to a billionaire, and that means that you've programmed in your consciousness so much to think about the things that you desire. So you're focused on it. You see, when you're focused so much in each breath on what you desire, it causes you to be grateful towards it. So you're sending thoughts of gratitude for the thing that you desire ahead of the desire. Come on now. Ahead. I could hear somebody saying, hallelujah. You're breaking some chains. Do you want to break some chains in your life? Say hallelujah. That means 1,000 praise. The more you say, do you know that 1,000 times 1,000? You check it out and see what you get. And as you begin to say, can you say hallelujah 1,000 times? Begin to thank ahead of time. You become conscious of that. So something pops up in your mind, hallelujah. You don't even have to say it out, but you can say it. Hallelujah. Ooh. Before you know it, your hallelujahs become Rosh Koryandai. Oh, that means amazing God, amazing life. And you look at that thing and you begin to think about it. Oh, you supersede being a millionaire. You're jumping now. This is graduation into being a billionaire because you have tripled it. You know why? Because even when you're not conscious, like say when you're sleeping or when you're not conscious, you have formed what? An habitual thought on those things that are good, that are right, that are pleasant. Because the opposite. And you said, well, wait a minute here, Dr. Palmer. So you're saying that if I desire, you see, you can't say, well, I desire. I'll give you a rough idea. Well, I'm going to desire I'm going to desire another man's wife, or I'm going to desire to hurt somebody. That's no. That doesn't make sense. Okay, it's whatsoever is good, right, and pleasant. That's what I'm talking about. Because the opposite would be to harm somebody else. It would mean to take away from somebody else. It would mean, you see, it would mean a lacking. But when you are thinking about the things that you desire, you actually possess those things. Don't you see? That's the secret. When you're thinking about what you want, you're so pulling it towards you that it's your dream coming true. Because the opposite of that is to live in disgust and hate and repulsion and loathing or apathy. No, jump out of that this week. Oh, jump out into the excitement. Another word for desire is excitement. It's an urge. It's your will. Use your will. A million times for what you will. A million thoughts of what you're pining for with fervor, of what you fancy, what you're aching for, what you wish, what your ambition, with enthusiasm. With all your inclination. Let it become a soft spot. Turn it on so that in your consciousness, It becomes automatic in your mindfulness. Your mindfulness when you are not even, you said, I'm oblivious because now I've got into the state where I supersede a million. I've thought about it a million times this week. Oh, I see that word millionaire. And what is that? I'm thinking about love. I'm thinking about peace. I'm thinking about health. Oh, you focus on that. Oh, you think about health. You think about, I'm healthy. You think about, oh, how my fingers are healthy. And you think about, oh, are you feeling like an aching in the back of your spine? Think about it, the healing of that, the health in there. Oh, wonderful. Oh, I'm a millionaire in this health in my spine. It works. It works. Well, what you've tried before didn't work, so give yourself a chance this week. Take up the challenge. It's life's challenge for you. Have you heard of life challenge? Well, this is your life challenge this week. And what is it? Think a million thoughts of what you desire. I've already given you the numbers. You can do that 427 times a day. That is not hard. Do you know why? Because you've been given what? 23,040 breaths throughout the whole day. Okay, so half of that time you are sleeping. Um, yeah, well, yes. I worked this out over like a 12-hour period that you're awake, eating, showering, jogging, working, talking, all the things that you know, all the things that you do during the day. Are those things good and right and pleasant? Are they? Well, if they aren't, do you know why they're not? Because you have been thinking about things you didn't like. And therefore, because you're thinking about things you didn't like, you're feeling things you didn't like, which makes you do things you don't like. Do you like to worry? Do you like to worry? I'm going to ask you one more time. Do you like to worry? No? Good. Well, stop thinking worrying thoughts because you've already been a millionaire in worrying. So look how wealthy you are. Well, poverty, really. If we look at it, tip it the other way, you would say, "Oh, I've got so much. I'm a billionaire and worry." Well, what profit is that? Oh, it profit me nothing. Okay, so I'm going to keep doing what profits me nothing. Change your mind and use your breaths. That's your biggest asset because you can program. That's a millionaire mindset, okay? A millionaire mindset is to program your mind when as the breath comes in, it finds the thought. It goes to your respiratory system. The cells in your body that is in your brain, yeah, and all in your body uses the oxygen, that breath that comes in, and it circulates through all your cell, and then in return it goes out as what? Carbon dioxide. It goes out as all those horrid thoughts goes out. There is no space to have negative thoughts. Why? Because your mind has been fixed on life, fixed on something that is good, fixed on something that is pleasant, fixed on something that is good, right, and pleasant. Make this your life challenge this week. Bless you. Life bless you. God bless you. Goodness bless you. Wisdom bless you. Oh, magnificent bless you. Delight bless you. Oh, you want a prayer? I say delight bless you. Peace bless you. Health bless you. You want to have an immune system that is strong? Then focus. Set your dreams. Oh my goodness. On those things that are right. A million times this week. Aim for it. Aim for it. Aim for it. If you've enjoyed this segment and you know there's someone that really is in need of hearing this, why not pass this on? Give us a thumbs up, leave us a comment. Now, don't be mean on your comments. I look and I see some wonderful comments. Thank you for those of you who are subscribers. If you have not yet subscribed already, subscribe to my channel. Wonderful blessings. It just pops into your email. You don't have to do anything about it. And for those of you that have given, thank you, thank you, thank you. You go over to the PayPal website and you donate to lulifechurch@gmail.com, right? That is lulifechurch, a squiggly little thing called at gmail.com. And your funds just come through and bless us. And each week we aim to bless you. So if you in turn would like to bless, you head over to the PayPal website And any donation makes such a difference because we are continually sending out and giving love. Bless you, bless you, bless you. As you take up the Millionaire Challenge, I will see you next week at the same time.